arrived. God. All right. Let's see if we get a computer screen. Let's see if we get some 5x5s. You guys can hear me, see me, and do whatever. But of course, I'm set up in the goofy format tonight. You guys know how this one goes. And I'm waiting to see. Oh, there goes my computer. Harbor Prepper says 5x5. Michelle, Jacob, Finley, Krista. All right. So you guys are hearing me, at least on my end. It looks like the screen is clear. So we are good. Somebody just, yeah, here we go. I got it on slow mode too, guys. And it's ding, 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 ding. All right. So, yes, the wood is finally finished cut and stacked. We wound up somewhere between 3 and 4 cords of wood on top of the probably cord and a half I already have. So I've got what, somewhere between 5 and 6, around 5 cords of wood probably out there, and no fireplace. I got a fire pit. That's about it. I got more freaking wood that I'm going to burn in fire pit. That's for sure. But yeah, who knows? It's got a season. So by next year, I may be sitting on a gold mine. Who knows? Crazy. So, wild day in the world. If you guys saw some of what's going on, apparently classified documents have now been found at Mike Pence's house. You know, great diversion there. I guess Germany is going to send Leopard tanks to Ukraine. Poland wants to send tanks. The U.S. is still considering sending Abrams tanks. It's like, yeah, okay, let's just get it on already. I mean, I want to know what the over-under day is for the end of the world in Vegas right now, because, it's just insane. The doomsday clock, if you guys caught this one, was moved up 10 seconds today to now 90 seconds to midnight. It's the closest we've ever been to midnight. And I'd actually give it some credence if you looked into it. They said the doomsday clock, we moved the doomsday clock up 10 seconds because of everything that's going on in Russia, Ukraine. Okay. And because of climate change. I'm just like, you just lost all credibility with me. Okay. That was the end of that one. But I guess there's an asteroid that's potentially going to have a flyby here on, Thursday. Biden is now trying to blame the Republicans for the lousy economy. I love that. And of course, coming up with the lie that they want to cut Social Security and Medicare in the spending cuts. That's what they want to cut out of the budget. In order to raise the debt ceiling. Typical, let's blame them. I screwed everything up, but it's their fault. So, I'm just to the point where, personally, I'm just like, let it all go. Let us default. Let the economy collapse. Start World War III, and let's just get it over with already. And those of us who are left standing, we can rebuild the world. Screw everybody else. I just freaking had it. It's bad decision after stupidity, left and right and forever. I did a couple of videos lunchtime and slightly thereafter. Apparently not a whole lot of people were worried about protecting their money today. But talking about what's going on with the banking system and how literally the banks are just saying, we're going to take your money and we're not backing. If somebody defrauds you and steals your credit card number because of what we put in, you know what? It's your problem. Okay. I thought people might be interested. It didn't seem to be, but I don't know. I'll protect my own money. Whether everybody else decides to do it, that's on their own. It's one of those things. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. Yeah, that's about it. And then, of course, if you saw, the DOJ is suing YouTube, or suing Google as a whole, not just YouTube, for deceptive ad practices. Gee, that wouldn't be a surprise, would it? You guys tell me about ads all the time and how they're the strange ads they put on. Yeah, okay. That was kind of interesting. Then, of course, Google, of course, is playing their games with you guys as per normal, unsubscribing people, not giving notifications. I understand the one thing YouTube says after 3 notifications in 24 hours on a channel, they don't give them anymore. Okay. But when you guys don't get notifications for the first video of a day, that's a problem. Uh, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's the end of the world and we know it. I don't know about you, but I feel fine. Bring it on. I don't care. Let Antifa walk down the street. I got plenty of holes in the yard that need to be filled. So we'll go from there. If the Chinese come over the hill, if the Russians come over the hill, if a nuclear warhead goes flying over the top of my head, I live, I die, I survive. It's in God's hands at this point, is the way I look at it, because man has screwed this up so bad. I have no faith in man at this point. I got faith in me and the people around me, but everybody else, if you were smart enough to take care of yourself and make plans for the future, good. If you weren't, I don't care. I'm sorry. That's how far I've just had it with all this crap. Governments of the world are trying to screw us every which way they can. The Ukraine money laundering operation, if you guys caught this one today, is, what was it, something like 7 very senior officials in the Zelensky government got busted for corruption, bribery, theft. You remember this? God, this has got to go back 30 years now. You remember the stories about the overpriced toilet seats and hammers that we had in the United States? Oh, kind of the same thing going on with Ukraine, except it was food for the troops. The guy who was in charge of buying all the food for the troops, the Ukrainian troops, made deals with some of these very sketchy places, and they were paying 2 and 3 times the retail price of food for the troops. And it turned out, and I'll just make the numbers up here, but it was like a bag of carrots was $2. But he'd sign a contract where they'd use your tax dollars to buy it for $10, and then he'd keep 4, and the guy who at the company kept 4, and the company got their $2, and they each made $4, and you paid for it. Yeah. But no, it's such an important country. We really need to take care of them because, I don't know, they only have a forever history of corruption, theft, and just being overall dirtbags. No. So, you wonder why I don't have a horse in this race. Okay. I don't feel like getting into a nuclear war with Putin, and I don't feel like funding Zelensky's next mansion. But, that was just proven today, right? So, yeah. Frustration in my voice. So you cut through concrete with it. So, all right. I assume most of you guys at least want to get the fun part of the day over, so we'll get started with this one. For those of you that actually made it to the end of yesterday morning's video, you know what's going on tonight. Elliot at Wellbats, they have a huge sale just for us, but it's only for 48 hours. So it's from yesterday morning till tomorrow morning. Okay. To get a discounted price plus 10% off. Okay. 10% off is just for us. And so Elliot decided that they were going to give away a couple of Delta 1300s this time around. So that is what we are going to do tonight. I had put the instructions in the video yesterday. What absolutely surprised the hell out of me, I never saw any scammers come in the comments. I was shocked. So maybe they're finally running away or realizing that they just get blocked and deleted. And that you guys don't fall for their shenanigans. But the rules were, this is how it'll go tonight. When I draw a winner, we'll do it just like I always do. Random comment picker. You guys will watch it all go through. A valid entry must have the state in which you live in, lower 48 only, and your favorite spring flower. I'm going to be lenient with the favorite spring flower because if somebody put roses on or something like that, I'm going to be fine with that. Okay, as long as there's a flower of some sort. It doesn't have to be daffodils or tulips or crocuses or something like that. If they got a flower in there, I'm going to be fine. Because it may be a spring flower in southern Texas, for all I know. Who knows? But we'll go there. The name I draw, the person will have 3 minutes by my clock to just reply in the comments that they are here. Okay. What I'm going to beg everybody, as per normal, when I draw the name, please don't make a comment. There's almost 2,000 of you guys in here right now, and the moderators are trying to watch for that name. I'm trying to watch for that name, and you all know, even with the 90-second delay on, the chat spins along pretty good. You don't want to be missed saying you're here and lose, because if I don't see it, and it doesn't matter if someone says, well, I said it. If I don't see it, you're out, okay? So please have some respect for everybody else. Also remember that there's a 90-second delay and you have 3 minutes. If you make a comment right before, and then you have to wait a minute and a half and your name is pulled, then you have to wait a minute and a half to make a comment. Then if I don't see it and you have to wait another minute and a half, guess what? Your 3 minutes is already gone. I've gone on to the next name. I'm sorry. It's done. Okay. Please do not make comments once we draw the names. So, sound good? All right. Let's find a couple of winners here because we got 2 of these things to do. So let me get to that screen and let me flip this over and blow it up. I can flip it over. There we go. And there's about the right size. Okay, now I know there's a delay from when I'm talking to when you guys are doing it. So right here, that is the URL from yesterday morning's video. We are taking out duplicate users because everybody gets 1 entry. Like I said in the video yesterday, I hope to God that somebody didn't say good morning and then go put a second comment in with their entry, because however this thing picks which one's duplicates, I don't know. Entry that comes up is the one that counts. Can't say, oh, I said it in another comment. It's not the comment that was picked. All right. So it's probably, I'll do my little math. So 4 + 1 is 5, and it'll probably tell me to do it again. Let's see. No, actually it won't. Okay, let's see how many comments we got in here. And as we tick along. Thank you, moderators, for reminding everybody to hold all comments. And we're still chugging along here. 26. 28. All right. 2,840 entries. That's not bad. I thought we have 2,066 people in here. So 830 or what? 700 and something people have not shown up. So there you go. All right. So let's get to the right spot on the computer. You guys are ready, I'm assuming. And here we go. Let's pick our first winner. A new beginning. Good morning from, I'm assuming that's San Antonio, Texas. I don't care time of the year. Japanese cherry blossoms and dogwood are my favorite out of every plant, flower, bush, tree. I'll take that. All right. So, a new beginning. Are you here? All I need you to do is put in the comments, I'm here, or anything of the sort, and that is it. So we are looking for a new beginning. And I'm looking. So it is 8:14, a new beginning. You have until 8:17. And moderators, please help me. Looking for a new beginning. TikTok, TikTok. Thank you guys for, the comments aren't shooting all over the place, so this is helpful. A new beginning. Are you in the house? Oh, I always hate when this happens. This happens, what would you guys say? 1 out of every 3 drawings, maybe 1 out of every 4, that the person's name I draw is not here. And I cannot imagine going, oh my God, I forgot about the live stream or whatever, watching the replay and go, they picked my name. A new beginning. You have 2 minutes remaining. Otherwise, we wind up picking a new name. Let me look in the participants here. I do not see a new beginning listed in the participants. Not that that's always perfectly accurate, but we will see. We will wait till 8:17 and see if we have a winner. Or we'll do it again. And if you wonder what I'm peeking around, guys, the camera is in between me and the computer. So I'm trying to look around to the screen so I can see it. But, a new beginning. I'm beginning to lose hope that you're here. Oh. $8:16. Less than a minute to go for a new beginning. Yo, I'm her cousin, doesn't fly. Sorry. And thank you, Lorna. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. A new beginning. Going once. A new beginning. Going twice. Guys, please don't comment. All right. So I'm sorry, a new beginning, but rules are rules. All right. So let me flip this over and we will do this again. So we will scroll down, and if you see in the lower left-hand corner, I'm hovering over pick another winner. Here we go. Tony Homesteader, I'm sorry, that is not a valid entry. Love to see the appearance of dandelions in the spring, but you did not mention the state in which you live in. So I'm sorry, that is not a valid entry. Pick another winner. Here we go. Patriot Grandma, I saw you here before. I'm 52, not elderly, love the dogwoods in Arkansas, but lilacs will always be my favorite. That is a valid entry. So, Patriot Grandma, I know you're here, or I know you were here. So it is 8:18. Patriot Grandma, you have until 8:21 to say, I'm here. And Patriot Grandma is here. There we go. All right, so we have our first winner. And I will flip. You guys can see me. There we go. The computer's just slow. All right, so Patriot Grandma is here. So we have our first winner. So Patriot Grandma, what I need you to do is send me your name, physical mailing address, no P.O. boxes, because Elliot will send this FedEx to you. Excuse me, and a phone number. Okay, so if you email that to me tonight, I will get it to Elliot in the morning. They usually get everything out on like Wednesday or Thursday. So my guess is you'll probably have this early next week. It'll miss the snowstorm, but it'll be there for the next one. So let us flip over and we will do the second winner. All right, now I got to blow this up again so we can see it. There we go. All right, and we are going to, again, lower left corner, pick another winner. And we have Rico Caro. Greetings from California. Cherry blossoms. That is a good entry. So Rico Caro, it is 8:19. You have until 8:22. Rico Caro. And I will look and see if Rico Caro is in the participants. And I do not see Rico Caro in the participants list. So we will wait to see what Rico Caro has to say if he's there. But Rico, you got till 8:22. I see Jacob saying he's here, Mammy saying he's here. And I'm sorry, but my chat window went silly. Yep, there he is. I am here. Okay, good deal. So, Rico, same deal for you. Please email me your name, your physical mailing address, and your phone number, and I will get that all over to Elliot, and we will get that to you as well. So congratulations to both Rico and Patriot Grandma. You guys are now the proud owners of a Delta 1300. So you guys know, I personally, not everybody will agree with me. What else is new? Okay, but I personally think EcoFlow is the best generator out there in the market. So it's what all mine are. So that's kind of where we go there. It's, you know, don't get paid. I don't get sponsored or anything like that. But if I like it, I'll tell you. So, okay. So that being said, it's now 20 after 8. Let's get into the normal Q&A of the evening. Give you guys a chance to see what's on your mind. See how you can keep mine active. So, for those of you guys that are new, I will let you know how we do things here. This is all Q&A. If you've got a question for me, please put it in all caps, kind of like every other YouTube channel live stream out there. So that shouldn't come as anything new. No topics off limits. You guys can ask anything about. If I know the answer, I will certainly tell you my opinion or whatever it is. I mean, some questions have more than one answer. I will tell you what my opinion is. If I don't know, I'm not going to bullshit you. I will just tell you that I'm not qualified to answer that, or I don't know, or I've never heard of it, or something. Okay, you know, I try to do my best to keep up with everything I can, but you know, obviously I'm not a doctor and a lawyer and a veterinarian and whatever it is. But so what I do know, I will share. What I don't know, I will admit. How about that? The one thing I do require, and those of you that have been around for a while know this, is that we keep it friendly, keep it polite in the comments. Disagreement is totally acceptable. I have no problem with somebody disagreeing with me. Okay? If you want to be rude about it, you won't get a second chance to make your point. If you're polite about it, a polite argument is fine. Saying, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, blah, 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 will get you the boot. And trust me, I'll never even see your comment because the moderators are so far ahead of me and so fast on this one, it won't matter. So if you want to insult me, don't worry, I won't see it. That's it. So, and to my moderators, thank you for the absolutely fabulous job you do keeping the riffraff out of here and keeping things clean. I will let everybody know one thing, because this comes up every once in a while, just a reminder, because I get an email every once in a while about people's comments being deleted on videos. Just a reminder for everybody, I don't allow anybody to post any links in the comments under videos, for a simple reason is if I do, you are going to see every spam bot pushing porn channels in there like crazy. I don't want anything to do with that in there, so I block links. That keeps that out. The high quality YouTube algorithm we have, though, can't decipher between a link and a punctuation error. So if you put Joe went to the store, period, and don't put a space after the period, and then write Mary went with him, it sees as .Mary and thinks it's a link. So, YouTube is really good about censoring people, but they can't figure out punctuation. Okay, so just say it. So if your comment doesn't show up 99% of the time, that's the reason why your comment disappeared. You don't see it. So, okay, let's get into this Q&A, and I will scroll up here to where we go. And there's all the congratulations in. Okay. Barbara Kramer says, good night, all. Time to fix husband dinner. Bye, Barbara. Have a good evening. Okay. Coffee and chocolate. Can you please explain the doomsday clock? The doomsday clock was started, I think it's like around 1952 or 1954. Don't quote me on the date. By some atomic scientists as to how close the United States was to Armageddon, basically the end. And, over the years during the Cold War, it moved closer and closer and closer to midnight. Midnight is when, guys, it's over. We're full blown chances. It was started for nuclear war. Okay. And, we're in full blown nuclear war. The scary part about it is, okay, it got moved up. I don't remember how much, but it got moved up a little bit 2 years ago, coinciding with Biden taking over in the White House. But that wasn't the reason. But that is a nuclear disaster. But we are now closer to midnight on the doomsday clock than we ever have been, including the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, anything like this, right? We are, according to the nuclear physicists or nuclear scientists or nuclear physicists, I forget which is this group, we are closer to Armageddon than we've ever been in our life, or ever been in history. How about that? So, yeah. Lovely times we live in. It's a good portion to the leadership we have in the States, right? Okay. Tammy Eaker, how is my weather here? It was 22 degrees at 5 o'clock this morning when I let the dog out. It got to a high of around 47 today, and it's supposed to get cold tonight. We're supposed to have rain. We're far enough south that we're not getting the snow here, but we're supposed to have snow Thursday, I think it is. So, cold. Not cold like North Dakota cold or Maine cold, but 22 degrees is cold for Tennessee. All right. Susan Lathrop, how are Mrs. P and the pups? Doing good. Copper was at the vet for his every about 6-week shot for his allergies, or he's got some sort of skin allergy. We've gone through so much trying to figure out what's wrong with him over his life, and thyroid issue, and he'd lose hair, and now he's 10 years old. He's got arthritis. It's like I'm doing all this, but there's this, I forget what this shot is or whatever it is that he's got to get about every month and a half or whatever it is, that will help him, because he gets really red under his armpits and on his belly and stuff like this, bad rash from whatever allergy he's got. And this stuff isn't perfect, but it helps a lot. The problem is it's expensive and only lasts about a month and a half. So, but he's our baby, so we take care of him. So I can go without, so he's okay. I just, if I had a rash that made me itch and everything like that, I'd hope somebody else would take care of me. Ken Harrison, on water-glassed eggs, can I put the shells in my garden? Absolutely. You're not losing any of the calcium from the shells, and that's the reason to do it. So yes, after you crack open your eggs, put the shells in the garden, clean them out, dry them off, and you're good to go. Jay Myers, seen their EcoFlow generators on eBay along with Blue Eddy and Jackery. I'm going to say the same thing I've said everywhere else. On eBay, guys, let the buyer beware. Okay. You could be buying a generator from somebody that doesn't work. Or the generators are not a forever thing. They've got, X amount of life cycle, about 3,500 cycles. Now, 3,500 is a lot. That means draining the thing every day for nearly 10 years. But if somebody's been using it, say, as an off-grid cabin for 3 years, and they've been draining it every day for 3 years, and now decide to sell it, you just paid whatever it would be for, 2/3 of the battery life. Just saying. Blue Eddy, fine, good product. I just find them overpriced. Jackery, pretty much every generator I've reviewed outperforms a Jackery. So if you're a Jackery person, you like Jackery, more power to you. Just there's other brands that have better capacity, less price, and charge faster, which I don't know is pretty much the three things I'm looking for. Uh, Shocks, Rocks, Ice. How often do you refresh water in storage? You should be constantly rotating it. Okay. I mean, if you're buying, cases of water or whatever it is, I'm hoping you're drinking the water and, drinking one, replacing it, put it on the bottom, stack them all up, take from the top, put the new one on the bottom, and just rotate. You should, especially if you're going through your water in that, because the chemicals in the plastic bottles will eventually leach into the water. If you're looking at saving water in an IBC tote or something like that, even using water purification or something like that, I would not. How do I want to phrase this? Any water is better than no water, but I would still try to rotate that every 6 months. And I know you're going, but what am I going to do with all this water in an IBC tote? Water your garden, okay? Pretty simple. I mean, you're going to use an entire IBC tote to water a garden in a week, tops, depending on how big your garden is, and then refill it. If you're catching rainwater or whatever it is. Hey, if it's going to rain 2 days from now, go water the garden today, and 2 days from now, replenish the IBC tote or whatever you do. But about 6 months is as long as you really want to keep water. Dirty like the government, looking for a power station to add to my 65 Ford Econoline. I don't understand what you mean by a power station, as in like a generator or something like that for in there. Again, depending on what you want to do with it, if it's just for keeping a radio on or putting some lights on or whatever it is, you can go with one of the smaller ones. You're not, I mean, a 1300 might even be too much unless you've got a refrigerator that you're keeping in there or whatever it would be. But I can't see you needing anything bigger than a 1300. Even maybe some of the smaller ones that I've reviewed might work too. Like an EcoFlow River or something like that at 600 might do you good enough. Save some money. I'm doing a grid down practice run soon. Any advice or tips? Okay. I'm going to take a guess that you mean you're going to turn off the main circuit breaker in your house. I mean, that's what I'm guessing you're talking about. So things to think about. You can't use anything. Okay. That means you can't use your car. You can't go somewhere and go, oh, gee, it's cold. I'm going to go sit in the car. The grid is down. That means you can't pump gas. Okay. So are you going to waste the gasoline that you have to go out to the car and get warm? No, you can't do that. Right. You have to be true. You can't cut corners. Right. If it's grid down, you figure that means nothing. All right. Anything that would take electricity, and you have to think a couple of steps ahead of time. Like I said, the gas station requires electricity for the pumps to work. Therefore, you can't put gas in the car. Are you going to waste the gas in your car just to get warm? No cheating going, oh, I'm going to the library for a couple hours, or I'm going to go shop at Walmart for a couple hours. No, that's not how it works. Okay. You need to figure out how to get by in your house on what you have. If it's candles, if it's solar lights that you put out by the driveway and bring in at night, if it's you got the little lanterns that I've showed you guys that are $5 at the dollar store, whatever it is, if it's whatever you have, that's how you've got to get it. Other things to remember too, your stove. Okay, is your stove gas? The ignition is electric. Okay. I hope you have a lighter. You better, if you're a prepper, you better have lighters. Way to start a fire. Okay. That means making coffee. Do you have those? This is an excellent exercise to do, and I've recommended many times that everybody does it. Is for the weekend. You tell the family, guys, we are shutting off the power at 6 o'clock on Friday. We will turn it on 6 o'clock on Sunday. The reason I say that is chances are you might want to take a shower in the evenings, do a load of laundry or something before work on Monday morning. Okay, whatever it needs to be. But 2 days, shut it off, and you will very quickly find your weaknesses. Are you like me? Are you on a well pump? Okay. If you are, if the well pump runs on water, you better have milk jugs of water put so you can flush your toilet. Okay. Or brush your teeth or whatever it would be. It could be gray water. How are you going to wash the dishes? Things like that. Because now the water doesn't work. And again, you have to think about the same thing there. If it's grid down, if it's an EMP or something, even if you're on city water ain't going to work either because the pump station doesn't work. So think about those things. That means nothing. Lorna says, please make sure the right Patriot Grandma, 2 usernames said here. Well, it's whichever one made the comment that I read. So they should know that that was the comment they made. Again, in the comment, I forget where Patriot Grandma said what state she was in. I'm going to get 2 addresses. One is the correct state and the other one's incorrect. I'm going to know which one it is. They should know which one it is. So, but thank you for letting me know. Trilobe, have I heard or seen anything about a Russian battleship on the East Coast? Yeah, there's a frigate sitting out there right now that has one of these Poseidon hypersonic missiles on it. And it's in international waters. There's nothing we can do about it, okay? Except pay attention to it and watch. So, yeah, it's there, but I will tell you this. The Russians, the Chinese have ships or submarines or whatever around the U.S. all the time, no different than we have ships or submarines somewhere around their countries at all times too. Is it worrisome with everything that's going on in the world right now? Yes. Is it relatively normal? Yes. Is it worth watching? Yes. I wouldn't make anything huge out of it, but it does pique the interest just a little bit as to what's going on. Delta Dawn, if we miss the live chat and respond during the replay, are we still eligible for the giveaway? No, you must be present to win on the live stream, and you have 3 minutes to answer afterwards. It's like the one person that we called here. She can't get back tomorrow and say, oh, I'm here now. Doesn't matter. Okay. Must be present to win means exactly that. Must be present to win. Mama Bear, same question I just answered. David Haley, the ATF has decided that my new toy is against their rules if you put a brace on it. Well, there's no brace on it. So, okay, that's it. If I have one later on down the road, I do. I bought it, doesn't have a brace on it, that's it. Okay. Sun's out, guns out. Is that chair comfortable? If you mean the one that I'm sitting in, I'm sitting at the kitchen chair here. So after about an hour, my back is sore sitting in this chair. So yeah, it's for dinner, not for doing videos, but it's just a very convenient place to do a video. So Catherine Smalley, do I plan on utilizing my pond some way with the garden? Absolutely. There were multiple reasons for putting the pond in. Okay. It's fabulous water storage that's close by. Okay. No problem. I mean, our estimate is we figure it probably holds somewhere between 150 and 200,000 gallons of water. I think I'm okay for water storage. Yes, I've got a Berkey and every different kind of water purification idea that, between tablets and the zero water and bleach and everything like that. So I got plenty of ways to purify water for drinking. We are putting fish in it, so that will be for food. Fish emulsion for the gardens is exceptional fertilizer. So the plan is, and I've got the pump to do it, is I can pump water out of the garden once the fish are out of the pond and water my gardens with it. The reason I want to do that is we're on a well here and we have extremely hard water. here in Tennessee. All right. So the well water is extremely hard. A lot of mineral deposits in it. The pond is filled by rainwater, okay, which is about the best thing that you can put on your garden. And now add all the fish poop to it, and I have a very clean, very good fertilization garden or water for my garden. So, yeah, there are multiple reasons for that pond. Kilroy Girl, do you know if I can plant beets close or next to cabbage? I wouldn't see any problem with it. I know there's all sorts of good reasons, and then there's old wives' tales for companion planting. Uh, like planting nasturtiums near your cucumbers. Okay, that's a good idea because the cucumber moth will wind up going over to the nasturtiums to lay its eggs and leave the cucumbers alone. Okay, so I mean, there's good things like that. Then there's some people that go completely over the top on what you can do, what you can't do. The biggest thing that I stick to with companion planting is I try to keep plants in the same family somewhat separated. Okay, I don't want to plant my cabbage next to my broccoli, next to my cauliflower, have all my brassicas right together because they have a tendency to attract the same pests. So if I get cabbage moths in my cabbage, now all of a sudden they're right next to the broccoli, right next to the cauliflower, and poof, you got it in all of them. Okay, so try to separate that way. But cabbage and beets, different family, I wouldn't have any problem with it whatsoever. I think you should be fine. Hillbilly, gonna freeze Thursday night. Should I wait to trim my onion tops? They're about 8 inches now. I trim them now. Gonna freeze? Leave them. Yeah, on second thought, leave them. Because if they get burnt on the tips, then you're just going to cut those tips off anyway. If you cut them now, and you get a freeze on tips, and you're going to have to cut them down further. I'd leave them till after the freeze, but plan on having to give them a haircut after the freeze. Yeah, change my mind on that one. Kim Clark, why is our country so divided? Oh, there's a question that could be in a 2-hour video. It's not like it's something that happened yesterday, okay? It didn't happen with the Biden administration. It didn't happen with the Trump administration. I mean, we've always been divided somewhat, okay? Never as much, at least in my lifetime, okay? Never as much as we have been in the last, 15 years, okay? And I don't necessarily want to say it started with Obama. I think it started in the George Bush era because there was a lot of bitterness. I'd probably go back to Bill Clinton because that was when the decorum left the White House. Okay, when all of a sudden, a president was somebody that was looked up to by the population, even if they weren't the party you wanted to be in, there was still respect for the office of president. And ever since Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, the respect for the office of president has gone in the toilet. At the same time, you also have the lack of personal responsibility being taught in the United States whatsoever. I mean, for 30 some odd years, it's always somebody else's fault. Okay. You were late to work this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. It was traffic. It wasn't, oh, I'm sorry. I slept in too late or I got out of the house too late. It was somebody else's fault. And, then of course we get into the whole participation trophy and everything. And it just grew and grew and grew. And now we have a generation of adults that's how they were raised. And the generation that was the parents, that was ours, okay, is a lot to blame too for the helicopter parenting and all this sort of stuff that went on too. you go back and I mean, even use the LGBTQ group. Okay, what was it? 10 years ago, all we want is the right to marry. Okay, you have the right to marry. Fine, congratulations. There you go. Oh, now we want this, and that's the problem. It's everybody always wants more. It's got to be. It's the gimme, 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 gimme. Society is wound up like this, with its hand out. And there's a whole bunch of people who have their hand out. There's a whole bunch of people who say, no, I'm not giving it to you. And that's why we're divided. My opinion. Going hot. Favorite Freedom spray, not sold on the gels, but stay away from bear spray. People spray is better. There you go. uh, Wasp spray works pretty good too. D Freako 1, my heart is sad. My youngest just moved out tonight. Well, her room is now my seed start room. Yeah, sad because she's out, but happy that she's now going to go make it in the world on her own. Now's the chance to spread her wings. It's not like she left your life. Okay, she's just going to start her own, and that in itself is a good thing. Let's see if I can catch that. I didn't. Oh, I'm gonna lose some of this. There it was. Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat. I'll go find it here. Should allow followers to send super chats and stickers to moderators. I know 2 right now that are zapping comments on 2 different YouTubers. Write YouTube a recommendation. I mean, I've recommended things, not that they've ever done anything, but if enough people do, maybe they'll listen to it. So who knows? All right, let's see where we get back here. Like-minded says, same with her. This has got to be going back to when I was talking about copper. Same with her, my baby Levi, 180 allergy shot every 8 weeks. It's probably the same shot. That's about what I pay for this thing. It starts with a P. I can't think of what it's called. Raising Faith, have I tried sulfur-powered powder and Vaseline for the dog's itchy rash? No, but I can certainly try. I mean, we've tried. I mean, you name it, we've tried it. I mean, the vet has given us more sprays and powders and everything like that. If it wanted something simpler, as simple as Vaseline, I would drop. But yeah. Peely J, great grain-free food took care of the hot spots for our fur baby. See, Mrs. P thinks he's got a chicken allergy, so he doesn't get any chicken products. I don't think that's what it is, and the doc hasn't said. But happy wife, happy life. So we kind of go there. But, now you talk about grain-free food. Good freaking luck, okay? I mean, if you realize how hard it is to find food that's chicken-free or poultry-free of any, that's next to impossible. Now to try to find something that would be grain-free too, I'd be feeding the dog filet mignon and that's it. At that point, I'd rather pay for the shots. Lorna says, Jackery for those of us who don't want to lift heavy stuff. And again, everybody makes the smaller generators and stuff like that too. I did that one. I can't remember which brand it was. That one that was a 1,500 watt generator that was really light too. Fat Daddy's outdoor cooking. What is my lowest viewed video? That's hard to say because if you go back to when the channel was starting, there's still videos back there that have 1,000, 2,000 views or whatever it is that some people have gone back and watched, but they really don't care what I said 3 years ago, going into the Biden-Trump election. It's long since gone. Recently, I can say probably ironically, the lower viewed videos are the ones where I review a generator or something like that and do a giveaway. Those are the ones that usually don't generate that much interest. So not like I'm going to stop doing it, but it's like, okay. Kip Russell, where can I get a copy of the Farmer's Almanac? Just go to farmersalmanac.com. Why get a copy of it? Just read it online. I mean, that's what I do with it. It's a lot easier to search that way if I want something too, because you can, at least online, you can customize it for the stuff that's important to your zip code, your zone or whatever it is. I mean, I don't care what the fertilization schedule is for almonds in California. I don't grow almonds and I don't live in California. So, Burnt Church, how's the greenhouse doing? So I was out there today. I've started working on the boards for the wall in the garage. And so figure it's been about a week or so I had to water them. The lettuce is about that high and is really bushy. The cabbage is big enough. I told Mrs. P, I said, I've got to transplant these things into bigger pots. I can see the roots are all the way down to the bottom of those glass jars. So it's a definite success. When we're getting down to 20 some odd degrees at night, and we have been for quite a while here, a week or so, it's been below freezing at night. Greenhouse is working fine. Everything, those things are growing well. So I didn't take a picture of it. I probably should have, but I'll probably take a picture of it, probably post it to the community board or something when I transplant them. Might do that tomorrow. So put them in bigger pots. Happy Canner, stove took a dive. Good time to practice for when the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit. There you go. Backups to backups. So, what other ways do you have to cook? And not that everybody's got a backup stove, okay? But, I'm assuming that you can cook somehow, some way in the microwave, or if you've got a fireplace or, whatever would be, somehow do it. Even a backup hot plate is a good idea. You want to make scrambled eggs in the morning. Scrambled eggs in the microwave don't work too well. So, Sharon Dylenheim, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Have I ever tried Dinovite for dogs? I've heard of it. I've seen the commercial reviews on it that, oh my God, this is great. Then I've seen all the real reviews that said it's junk. So no, I've never tried it. If it starts getting a bad rap, I'm not going to waste my money and try it. I figure if enough people tried it and took the time to write that it was enough people that it was crummy, I'm not going to do it. So maybe it's good. Maybe there's a whole bunch of people who are just pissed at the company. I don't know, but I kind of go off the reviews. If there's a lot of good ones, I'll try it. If there's a lot of bad ones, I'm going to take a chance that there's not a whole lot of people that are just pissy. Kevin McGee, what do I think of the new pistol grip law? Will it be overturned? I'm assuming you mean the pistol brace law. Yeah, I think it's absolutely going to get overturned. I mean, because here's the deal. ATF is not a lawmaking body. They can't decide what a law is. Congress could make that law, okay, and then it would get overturned by the Supreme Court. But the ATF has zero authority to make a law. So until Congress says it, it's unenforceable. They can't do anything about it. They can try, okay? And please show me where that law has, that, what you're saying has been signed into law. Well, we said so. Doesn't matter. You don't have the authority to do it. That's like, they have as much authority to it as all of us getting together and saying, effective immediately, every household in the United States must have 100 pounds of rice in the house. And if you don't, we're going to fine you $10,000. We have no authority to do that. We have as much authority to say that as the ATF does to say that you can't do pistol braces. So I don't think it'll be overturned. It'll never come into play because until Congress makes a law, or a state, okay, a state could make the law too, and then it'll go to court and it'll get overturned. Okay. It's an accessory. Again, think about this. Think of all the parts to a weapon or whatever it is. Anybody and their mother can go buy a magazine, can buy a buttstock, can buy a barrel, whatever. But if you want to buy that lower, that is what you now have to go through your background check and everything like that. Everything else is just an accessory. That lower is the important part. You know, the one part that's got the serial number on it. That's the weapon. Okay, everything else is an accessory. Until somebody shows me how a pistol brace is somehow deadly, you know, and I'm saying, well, it's going to make it a short-barreled rifle. No, it's still a pistol. Okay, I could take a broomstick and put it on the end of my SPO1. Does that make it a rifle? No, it makes it a pistol with a broomstick on the back end. That's it. So that's what I'm saying. This rule has no teeth. And I'm not a lawyer. Stephanie Gerald, I wonder how many top secret documents Pelosi has. Or maybe Hillary Clinton. Okay. You know, let's think about that one, though. Hillary probably bleach bit them all. But yeah, here's the better one. How many does Obama have? Because let's see, we've now found Biden, Trump, supposedly, Pence, supposedly. Okay. Let's go back to who Biden was vice president under. Good old Barry. What's Barry got? Barry was a good old shady character. What has he got back there? You know, the thing that bothers me more than anything else is how careless is our government if we're now talking about 2, potentially 3 administrations that are careless, this careless, with classified documentation. I mean, these are the people running the country. The most powerful person in the world, potentially. And they can't figure out where they put their paperwork. And if they go, well, it wasn't Joe that actually did it. It was, you know, the people that did the moving. Okay, so that's who he's hiring. He's hiring people that are that incompetent. You know, these are the people that make decisions that affect everybody in the country, if not everybody in the world. That's what bothers me. Dogwood Howler Homesteader, have I ever thought about worm farming? As if you're talking about, you know, having a little bucket outside with, you know, gather worm castings and stuff like that. It's easier if I want to use worm castings to go just buy some rather than all the work that goes with it. I don't use them. Not that there's anything wrong with them, okay? But everything else I've done to build my soil and stuff like that is I've got very good soil. So even on top of all this Tennessee clay. Miss Lippy, hello. I feel good. I feel the food shortage in some degree is a test for compliance. Your thoughts? Oh, you're absolutely 100% correct. No question at all. Okay. You know, you look at the stories on what's come out, what was it, about a week ago, that they were saying that the chicken feed is what is causing chickens not to lay eggs. Okay. And all the other shortage thing, you know, the shortages that we have on eggs. And then there were 2 different brands. Was it Producer's Pride? And I forget what the other one was. I think both of them are sold at Tractor Supply. And there are countless people are saying when they changed the chicken feed off of one of these, the chickens started producing again. Okay. You know, little things like this. Testing. Can they be testing? Hey, if we change this in the chicken feed, let's see if they figure it out. Okay. Or let's see if it works. And it does. You know, how many things, I mean, isn't it amazing that we've seen beef problems, chicken problems, pork problems, I mean, vegetable problems, salmonella like crazy. I mean, every single food thing we've had problems with in the last 2.5 years. Yeah, I think it's absolutely a test to see how they can mess with the food supply, because at the same time, how they casually sneak in, oh, bugs. I mean, what was it? The EU approved today or yesterday putting mealworm meal in pizza dough and pasta, I believe it was, is now acceptable in Europe. Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely a test to see how much we'll take. Laura Story, So even water stored in water bricks should be replaced every 6 months. That would be my suggestion because the plastic is going to leach into the water and the water is going to taste like crap. Okay. I mean, I'd rather have water that tastes like crap than no water, but eventually you're gonna be like, ugh, I don't want to cook in this. Eventually it's gonna be, this is good for flushing the toilet. I know we're really close on the end. Awesome Sauce 753. Can anyone have a gas pump or just farms? I do not know the answer to that. I'd assume you have to have some sort of property and the zoning to have a tank underground. Uh, now, an above ground tank, I don't know. Carrie Dutcher, the most likely grid down scenario is an EMP or that or just a computer hack of the grid. Okay, that's not hard either. And one more because we're at 9 o'clock. Grid down, you freeze unless you have firewood and start a fire in your wood stove if you have one. Not necessarily. Okay, depends on where you live. I don't think anybody's going to be freezing in Florida. I don't think anybody's going to be freezing in July. So, as cold as it gets here, would I freeze? Maybe, maybe not. Do I have enough blankets? Sure. Okay, but I'll give this. There were plenty of people that survived for hundreds of years without fireplaces in a house for thousands of years. And we know they did because if they didn't, we wouldn't be here. Sure, it was much nicer and more convenient, but it wasn't that wasn't the only way you survived. So, okay, guys, have a good Tuesday. We'll see you in the morning. I got work to do. We'll see you tomorrow. Pinball out.